Hey there, this is Laura Bennett. I blog at sometimesdancing.com, but because I'm a new mom, writing a polished blog article is pretty much impossible now, so I decided I'm going to get into vlogging, and I'm only going to do one take, there we go, no matter how ridiculous it may be, because I don't have time to make this perfect. So today I want to talk about victim mentalities. So if you think of, I bet you can all think of someone where you say, oh, this person has a total victim mentality, right? And how do we describe them? It seems as if the classic definition, if you will, of a victim mentality is someone who has low self-esteem, who feels helpless, who maybe complains or whines a lot, who's super submissive, lets other people walk all over him or her like a doormat, right? Like that's who we think of as having a victim mentality. So based on some reading that I've been doing lately, I want to suggest that there might also be a second polar opposite manifestation of a victim mentality, which might apply to you. So first, think about your parents, right? So if either one of your parents has the classic victim mentality, the way that we've just described it, and if you have historically thought that you are the complete antithesis of someone with a victim mentality, right? Because you're bold and you speak up and you have solid boundaries and you fight for what you believe in, and you you never let people walk all over you, right? Maybe you've actually been accused of the opposite, that you walk all over people, or maybe you've been told you have a superiority complex or a chip on your shoulder and such things, right? So I now think that is another version of having a victim mentality, and this is why, because if you have a superiority complex, right, that, then on a subconscious level, you might think things such as, oh, well, these solutions that work for other people, they can't work for me because I have exceptional problems. Or this person, or probably more likely, this circumstance keeps me from being my best self, right? So like if either of those statements resonate with you at all, like they do for me a lot, I have to admit, that's a victim mentality. It's not just the low esteem version and the submissive version. For me, how this has played out in my life at some different points has been that I've gotten in situations where I've felt treated unjustly, which may or may not have been true, but when it came to looking for solutions, and this to me is key, I operated with very catastrophic thinking, black and white, all or nothing thinking. I couldn't see a full range of options to me. So for example, in undergrad, I was told that I'd be able to, take certain courses or just have things set up in such a way that I could graduate a semester ahead of schedule, actually, right? And so I'd been banking on that. And when that school year started, and I was trying to get all of this stuff arranged, then the same professor who had made these verbal promises to me was like, no, there's no way that's going to happen. And for no good reason whatsoever. In fact, he may have even denied that he had made me those promises in the first place. I don't remember that part for sure. But anyway, point being that with the victim mentality that I now believe I was operating with, since I'm not the submissive version, right? I have actually very high, unhealthily high access to anger. I fought it, right? I fought it tooth and nail, right? So someone with a victim mentality might actually be really stubborn, or someone who you could characterize as being a crusader, right? And and so I took it to his superior and then that person's superior, and I fought it. And I mean, it still didn't work out for me very well, which is another story, I suppose. But when I look back on it now, I realize that if I hadn't had the all or nothing victim mentality, believing that I was essentially some sort of special snowflake and had exceptional problems, or this circumstance that was out of my control, right, was keeping me from being my best self in some way. I I thought that my only options were to either win, quote unquote, and get exactly what I wanted, or to submit, right? Which seems like such a victim-y sort of thing to do. Oh no. And do things completely their way. And I didn't see all of these other options, such as, well, I wouldn't have to enroll, full time in a second semester. I could just take the one class that was keeping me from graduating, and I could move off campus and save money that way, so on and so forth. Or I could just say, forget it, I'm just not going to graduate at all. Like, I had other options, but I didn't see them. And to me, I think that's a victim mentality, right? Because I still felt helpless in that situation, but instead of just like, rolling over with it, I fought that feeling helpless tooth and nail, but in such a way that I think indicates a victim mentality. So yeah, in other words, or to try to come at this a little bit differently, if you feel like you have a parent who was or is the classic victim mentality type, then I suggest that you consider if maybe you have overcompensated for that, if maybe you've overreacted to that, if on some subconscious level you swore to yourself that you would never be a victim, that you'd never just roll over and take stuff like that, that you wouldn't submit, that you would stick up for yourself, right? But if that mentality, one, has not been serving you, like it definitely has not served me at various points in the past, and two, if that is actually this semi counterintuitive manifestation of a victim mentality, that could also be considered just like a superiority complex of sorts. Yeah, because I think both of those versions, the submissive victim mentality and the, I guess we could say, aggressive victim mentality, both of those people believe on a subconscious level, at the very least, that the world is out to get them, right? And I mean, I guess that kind of seems like the heart of a victim mentality to me. Anyway, so this has been a big revelation for me. I have a lot of thinking on this left to do for myself, and just the full ramifications of this, because I don't want to live with a victim mentality, and I don't want to pass a victim mentality on to my son. And yeah, so there might be some more vlogs about this topic coming up, but for right now, this is a good start. So thanks for listening. I hope that something was intriguing or interesting to you and gets you thinking about this topic in a helpful way, like I've been lately. Thanks.